the most legendary song in history. Do you remember when this song changed music forever? Or when this other one carved out its place in history? Just the first few seconds playing, and time rolls back, we're suddenly who we used to be. Today, we're not just talking about music. We're talking about moments, about voices that managed to shout louder than everyone else. These songs became legendary, and somehow, they also tell our own story. 13. Only You by the Platters.
Only you.
Before rock and roll was what we know it as, there was this magical genre called doo-wop, and the Platters were the undisputed kings of that sound. Their track Only You was such a pure, honest love declaration that 70 years later, it's still the perfect song for a wedding, an anniversary, or any moment when you need to tell someone they're the only one in your life.
Only you and you alone.
Tony Williams had a voice that sounded like it came from another world, smooth as velvet, but with emotion that hit you right in the chest. When he sang those romantic lines, you felt it down to your bones. Believe it or not, the first version of Only You was a commercial flop. The Platters re-recorded it months later with better production, and it shot to #1. Sometimes success just needs a second shot.
My one and only you.
This song opened doors that seemed locked forever. The Platters were one of the first African-American groups to score massive success with white audiences. They proved love has no color, and neither does music. Before we keep going, we'd love to get to know you a little better. Where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. Let's roll on. 12. Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin.
There's a lady who's sure.
One day, Jimmy Page and the guys decided to make an 8-minute and 2-second song of pure energy. It might have been too much for a single, but it was plenty to become a true classic.
Really makes me wonder.
Stairway to Heaven was never released as a single. It never charted on the pop lists. And yet, it became the most requested song on rock radio for over a decade. Jimmy Page and Robert Plant wrote it in a cabin in Wales, looking for something different, something that started soft and ended in an eruption. What they created was a straight-up masterpiece. The song builds slowly, layering tension, until it explodes into one of the most celebrated guitar solos ever. This track captured something few songs do, the feeling of a full journey, going from one place to another and coming out transformed. Led Zeppelin made a ton of great songs. This one was the crown jewel. Hit that like button if you love at least one Led Zeppelin track. 11. Hound Dog by Elvis Presley. But not every song needs to be long and deep to make history. Elvis Presley only needed 2 minutes and 16 seconds to change the world. The King was already famous when he recorded Hound Dog, but this song turned him into a legend. It was aggressive, sexy, dangerous, everything parents back then feared, and everything kids needed. When Elvis performed it on TV, shaking his hips that scandalous way, the world split in two. Adults saw the end of civilization. Teens saw the start of their freedom. What a lot of people don't know is that Hound Dog was originally recorded by Big Mama Thornton, a blues singer, 3 years earlier. Elvis's version was way different, faster, rockier, and it turned the song into a massive phenomenon. It sold over 10 million copies in the US alone, spent 7 weeks at #1. Though its impact lasted way longer, Elvis showed music could be rebellion, a message that's still around today. Hey Jude by the Beatles.
Hey Jude, don't make it bad.
Paul McCartney was driving to John Lennon's house to visit Julian, John's kid, whose life had gotten messy because of his parents' divorce. On the way, He started humming a melody that began as "Hey Jules," then he swapped Jules for Jude, and one of the most comforting songs ever written was born.
Let it out and let it in. Hey Jude.
Hey Jude was a musical hug, a message of hope for anyone going through tough times. Take a sad song and make it better. The track runs 7 minutes and 11 seconds, with a repetitive fade-out over 4 minutes long. The label thought it was commercial suicide. But the Beatles had their fans' backs, and that super long song became their best-selling single ever. In stadiums, protests, weddings, funerals, you'd hear that final chorus, like a symbol of togetherness. Wherever people need to feel connected, those syllables show up. Paul McCartney wanted to comfort a kid, he ended up comforting the whole world. My Way by Frank Sinatra.
I did it my way.
Frank Sinatra was 63 when he passed, but he left clear instructions. He wanted this melody played at his funeral. It was his song, his final statement, his way of saying he'd lived life on his own terms. The coolest part? He wasn't the original writer or even the composer. The original lyrics were French, a melancholic tune called Comme de Habitude. Paul Anka heard it and saw bigger potential. The guy who wrote Diana crafted brand new lyrics, thinking specifically of Sinatra, and Old Blue Eyes did the rest. Sinatra had mixed feelings about the song. Sometimes he'd call it his life anthem. Other times he'd say he was sick of singing it. But he never stopped performing it live because he knew what it meant to him and his fans. Over time, My Way became the most played song at funerals in the Western world. It's the perfect goodbye, a declaration that, mistakes and all, you lived authentically. Sinatra was a lot of things, but above all, he was himself. This song is his final self-portrait. I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. One random night, Keith Richards woke up in the middle of the night with a riff in his head. Half asleep, he grabbed a recorder by his bed, played what you just heard, then passed out again. The next morning, he barely remembered doing it, but there it was, the most recognizable riff in rock history. Satisfaction was frustration turned into music. Mick Jagger sang about not finding satisfaction in a world full of empty ads and fake promises. It was the voice of a generation starting to question everything. Not many know this, but the Rolling Stones almost didn't release it. Keith thought the riff was too basic for their style. Mick had to convince him that simplicity was exactly its power. The song hit #1 and defined what the Stones would stand for forever. They weren't. The Beatles clean and approachable. They were dangerous, unsatisfied, rebellious. Millions of kids related to that anger, and they still do today. What's your favorite Stones song? Drop it in the comments. 7. Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan. By 1965, Bob Dylan was the prophet of the folk movement, but inside, he was tired of that image. Tired of people asking for answers he didn't have, tired of meeting expectations. So he wrote pages and pages of pure frustration, cut lines, added others, until Like a Rolling Stone came out. 6 minutes of unanswered questions aimed at someone who'd lost everything. How does it feel to be homeless, directionless? The song broke every rule: too long, too bitter, too different. Soon that title became rock history. Even Rolling Stone magazine named itself after it. The editors felt it perfectly captured the spirit of the music they wanted to celebrate. Like a Rolling Stone was the big bang of modern music. Everything after it exists because of Dylan's work. 6. Johnny Be Good by Chuck Berry. Talking about this song is talking straight up about the cornerstone of rock and roll. The lyrics tell the story of a country boy who can't read or write but plays guitar like nobody else, dreaming of seeing his name in lights. And like a lot of people figured, Chuck Berry was basically describing himself. Johnny Be Good was autobiography disguised as a song the American dream turned into music, the promise that talent could beat any obstacle.
Deep down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans, way back up in the woods among the...
That opening riff is probably the most copied in history. Every rock guitarist has played it at least once. You probably didn't know this. When NASA launched the Voyager probe in 1977, they included a disc with Earth sounds for any alien civilizations out there. Johnny Be Good was one of the songs picked to represent humanity, and we get why.
But he could play a guitar just like a ringing a bell. Go, go!
Rock and roll wouldn't be the same without Chuck Berry. His playing, his moves, his songwriting define the genre. That's why he earns his spot here. 5. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. The king of pop definitely has his spot locked. And while plenty of his songs could have made it, we picked one that goes beyond music into pop culture. Billie Jean was about a woman claiming Michael was the father of her kid, something that could happen to any celebrity. But the song was way more than its lyrics. It was that bass line you can't ignore, that groove that forces your body to move everything part of perfect choreography. And the wildest fact, when Michael performed Billie Jean on the Motown 25 TV special, he did the moonwalk for the first time in front of a huge audience. That moment changed music and dance history forever. The song spent 7 weeks at #1, helped get black artists regular play on MTV, and cemented Michael Jackson as the king of pop. Just a straight masterpiece. 4. Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys. While the Beatles were pushing boundaries with Revolver, Brian Wilson, the mastermind behind the Beach Boys, decided he could make something revolutionary too, though it took him a while. Good Vibrations took 6 months to record, used 4 different studios, and cost over $50,000 a fortune back then.
I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the...
Each section was recorded separately and pieced together like a sonic puzzle. The result was a 3-minute and 35-second symphony that took over the music world like magic. Brian Wilson called Good Vibrations his pocket symphony. He wanted classical complexity with pop accessibility, and he nailed it big time.
Gotta keep those loving good vibrations.
Brian paid a heavy price for his genius, but he left songs like this, so yeah, it was worth it. Subscribe to the channel if you want us to do a video on the Beach Boys story. 3. Oh Pretty Woman by Roy Orbison. If you heard him when you were young, you know Roy Orbison had one of the most incredible voices ever. He could go from a whisper to an operatic belt in seconds, and it all sounded totally natural. But on Oh Pretty Woman, he took it to the next level.
Pretty woman, look my way. Pretty woman.
The coolest thing? It didn't come from some huge inspiration. It came from everyday life. Roy's wife said she was heading out to buy something. He asked if she needed cash. His co-writer, Bill Dees, joked, "A pretty woman never needs money." From that joke came a legendary track. That guitar riff is impossible to ignore, and Roy's voice matches it perfectly. The song was cut in one take. Roy nailed the vocal on the first try. The session musicians, vets, who'd seen it all, were blown away. Soon, Oh Pretty Woman hit #1 and stayed there for 3 weeks. Decades later, a movie with Julia Roberts brought it back for new generations. But the original magic is still there. Roy Orbison sang about a beautiful woman walking down the street and became a legend. 2. Stayin' Alive by Bee Gees. It was 1977. Disco was at its peak. The Gibb brothers had years of flops. Nobody took them seriously. They seemed like relics from another era. But when they started grooving to disco, they rewrote history. They got asked to write music for a movie about Brooklyn nightclubs, and that's how Stayin' Alive was born. It was a survival anthem encouraging you to make bold moves head held high, to refuse to give up when everything looked lost. Not many know this. Stayin' Alive's tempo, 103 beats per minute, is perfect for CPR. Doctors recommend thinking of this song while doing chest compressions. The track about staying alive can literally save lives. John Travolta strutting through Brooklyn with this playing is one of the most iconic movie scenes ever. But the song goes beyond the movie and beyond disco. It's a universal anthem for anyone fighting to keep going, to stay alive. The Bee Gees got underrated for years. This song proved their ultimate genius. 1. I Got You, I Feel Good by James Brown.
Wow, I feel good.
And we reached the purest, most direct, most irresistible song on our whole list, created by a true genius like James Brown. Every night he gave everything on stage. Every song was an energy marathon. Every move calculated for maximum impact. I Got You, I Feel Good was the perfect distillation of everything James Brown stood for. That opening scream is recognizable anywhere in the world.
I knew that I would not. I feel.
Those 3 words are universal. Fun fact: James Brown originally recorded this as I Got You for another artist. When he decided to sing it himself, he added I Feel Good and totally transformed it. Sometimes the best gifts are the ones you keep.
So nice, I got you.
The song's been in hundreds of movies, commercials, TV shows, and whenever someone wants pure joy, they turn to it. James Brown was more than a singer, he was a force of nature. And I Got You, I Feel Good is his peak, most contagious moment, an absolutely perfect one. And that's the end of our journey. We'll drop another video here with a different list of old school songs if you want to keep reliving the nostalgia from back in the day. See you next time.